Yes, you are required to.
Where are you safe?
Look, sir, you're going to do this the easy way, or are we going to take you in?
You cannot take me in.
Yes,
I'm
I
in
can.
my private.
Yes, I can. Do you
just,
have documentation?
I do have my documentation.
You present it to me.
Why are
please.
you asking me for my paperwork?
Because of your accent.
I still? You have an accent too.
Where were you born, sir?
Where were you born at?
Put your hands behind your back.
Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant. That has been flying around the internet. ICE agents asking a man where you're from because of your accent. Fascinating. 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 Incident occurred at this past January, a couple days ago, at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport, where agents were questioning Uber drivers. I want you to spin that around in your head for a second. ICE agents were at the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport questioning Uber drivers. Now, if you were walking around with pictures of violent, criminal, illegal immigrants who had been let out of jail for child rape and murder, right? Because that's what we're hearing, right? That's the talking point. That ICE is there. Kristi Noem said it. Carolyn Levitt said it. Every single talk radio host on the conservative side has said it. We're there. They are there to get the criminal, illegal, violent, the child rapists, the murderers. Because if you say child rapists and murderers, everyone will say, yeah, get rid of them, including myself. So you use those words over and over and over and over. The child rapists, the murderers, the child rapists, the murderers, the murderer, like Laken Riley's case, like, the murderers, the child rapists. Yes, everyone would be for that. But then if you say to people, hey, ICE was just roaming the Uber line at the airport. Does it sound different to you? Maybe not to some of you, but does that not sound different? ICE was questioning Uber drivers at the airport. Where's your papers? You have an accent. Listen to this. You're okay with that? I mean, if you are, you are. I'm not going to argue with you. If you're okay with that, well, Shelley, they're here illegally. They're driving Uber. Well, Shelley, they're criminals because they're illegal. They're driving Uber. They're doing something. They're not collecting welfare. They're not sitting at home. They're driving Uber. Go to Newark Airport, JFK. Go to Hartsfield. You could do that anywhere. So what are we going to do now? They're not child rapists. They're not murderers. Now, if you were looking for child rapists and murderers and you had their picture, Shelley Winter picture, oh, that's him. He's right there. He's an Uber driver. Hey, Mr. Winter, step out of the car. You're under arrest. You're a child rapist and a murderer. They're not. They're Uber drivers. And you have an accent. Where's your documentation? I don't know. Let me say something. I'm a conservative. I'm not for big government. I'm not big on the federal government being in cities and counties. Something that, drew me to conservatism, right? Small government. That's what drew me here. I grew up in Democrat household. I grew up in liberal New York City. I grew up in very liberal Harlem. And it drew me here. Yeah, I don't like big federal government. That doesn't make sense to me. That drew me in. And now every conservative that I know is saying, yeah, bring it on. More big government. I want more. I'm like, huh? When did we turn? When did we switch? In Minneapolis, St. Paul Airport, ICE was questioning Uber drivers, asking them for their papers. I've got sound of Megyn Kelly. Let me play this sound for you, because this is outrageous to me. Not what she's saying, Not what she's saying. I'm going to play this for you. Hit that for me, please.
The polls were terrible on police and the crackdowns on, bad guys in the streets committing crimes after George Floyd. And then they totally reversed. But it took a couple of years, and we don't have a couple of years until midterms. So Trump's got an interesting question to ask himself, because today he's saying, if you don't start behaving in Minneapolis and stop impeding law enforcement, I'm going to declare that it's time to use the Insurrection Act and send in federal, National Guards to protect these ICE agents. And, things are going to start to get even more real.
So what she's comparing to, it's a clip. She's with Adam Carolla. She's on a podcast. And what she's comparing how during the George Floyd era, people's view of the police went down. And she's saying it took years to rebound. Right, when people saw Derek Chauvin with his foot on the neck of an American citizen for 8 minutes, many Americans saw, they started to say, whoa, wait, maybe the police are out of control, right? This is what they did. This is what the polls showed. This is what the numbers showed. And what she's saying is that the same as may happen with ICE. Interestingly enough, it's January 16th, Friday. Megyn Kelly is saying this, and everybody's saying, Megyn Kelly is saying, it may hurt Trump. ICE may hurt Trump in the midterms. I've been saying it since the summertime, and I've been called every name, but I've been called everything but a child of God. I've been saying it since the summertime. Ooh, this is going to hurt us in the midterms. Ooh, and all the conservatives, Shirley, you're changing, you're a sellout. And now every single one of them, all the big ones with all the many stations, all over TV, all over the podcast, with all these major millions and millions of people following, all saying the same thing I said 6 months ago. You will be made to learn about this show. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK.